What is up, guys? Crusader Kid here, and today I have a deck profile. Now, I was going to play video games, but recently that hasn't been working. My internet's been doing crap again. Haven't been able to record, live stream, upload. It's been a big hassle, and I need something that I can do that has very little editing so I can get this out as quickly as possible. Not only that, to be a little bit entertaining, and I really wasn't in the mood for a vlog. So here we go. We have this deck profile for you guys. Now, this deck will run a total of, as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 basic land and 4 special land, but that does not really matter. All you really need is to have basic land. And that's all you really need. Let me just show you the special land we got right here. We have basically 2 cyclable greens, and the reason why we have those is because you're going to get a lot of mana in this deck. You really don't need that much, so being able to cycle it will definitely help you. We have the Treetop Village, which basically tap at pay 2, it becomes a 3/3 green ape creature with trample. It can really be nice if you're not just drawing any good monsters or you're drawing a lot of high cards, like too high even for elves. And this one, the Oran Riffle, the Vastwood, basically, I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name, but this card's ability, I don't know if it'll focus on it, maybe not, but it just says put a 1/1 counter on each green creature that you control that enters the battlefield this turn, which is going to be huge for an elf deck, especially to give them all an extra 1/1 counter, especially during that late game. It's going to be really great. So you have some cyclable land, a creature land, just throw it in there just to spice it up, and then a Vastwood. I would probably replace the Treetop with another Vastwood if I got the chance, but I don't have it. So there goes our land. Okay, the next thing we have is our 1 cost. So we're going to be running 4 Llanowar Elves. And then we're also going to be running 2 Elvish Mystics, so I have like 2 of each right here. It's pretty fun. So we're going to be running those Llanowar Elves. The next thing we're going to be doing is running 3 Glycerin elf. You know what I'm talking about. It's basically the 1/1 elf with infect. It's a 1 cost, and these 3 cards can be swapped out for basically a lot of things I'm going to talk about. These are the 3 cards where it doesn't necessarily, you can either put a Llanowar elf or some other cards I'm about to talk about soon. These are not a must-have for my deck. It's not an infected deck, but using infect can really throw a curveball at your opponent. What do I mean by that? In this game, there's going to be a lot of instances where you'll have a creature with like a 5/5 or 6/6. This creature can get bumped up to a 3/3, a 4/4, and yes, it may be more powerful, but as soon as you do, those negative 1/1 counters will come onto that creature, and it will basically make it just a 2/2. So this could be really good to help break down heavy opponents, and it's a cheap cost, it's a 1 cost. So we're running 3 of those. Like I said, this is not a must-have to for this deck. We have 1 Rancor. I think you all know what it does. At a 2/0 trample, comes back to your hands to destroyed. The fact that it always comes back is really great for this card. It really does help out the gameplay. It helps you basically keep one monster strong enough to take down the opponent. The trample ability is really nice. They have 1 Blossoming Defense, 2/2, gets hexproof for 1 turn. We definitely use that for defense and for cards that are like black that just murders to prevent those. It's a really great card. So there's our 1 costs. Sorry, it's a little bit awkward camera angle. Next thing we have is Dwayne's Elite. You summon it, get a 1/1. That really helps improve your army, and with another card that we have, it basically will give it 2 1/1 counters. You could tap it for 3 mana. It's just basically, it's a great card to have in any elf deck. I run 3. You could put 4 in there depending on how consistent and what the deck. This deck can have so many different changes to add to it to make it good. This is what I've just been running against my friends. It seems to be working. 3 seems pretty good. I usually get at least one out per game. Next we have is 2 Thorn Lieutenants. Thorn Lieutenant, if it gets targeted by an ability or spell by your opponent, you create a 1/1 green elf warrior token. pay 6 in that late game to give it +4/+4. It's a 2/3, 2 cost. It's just really great, especially against black decks that have a lot of murder, or you're running against a burn deck. This can really help slow down your opponent and keep a pretty stable army on the board. And then late game, it has that ability, so you can really help it out there by doing that. So now we have running two of these. My camera just got darker. I don't know if it actually got darker or not, but I go. Now here's one that you probably should be expecting: a Elvish clan color. Other elves you control get +1/+1. It's just really good. It's a 1/1. It's a 2 cost, but if you pay 6 and you tap it, you get to search your library for another one of these. So basically, it helps replenish itself. Sorry, try to keep it in the angle. It's really hard to do this, but yeah, keep it. Yeah, basically, you don't have much to do. You're going by the draw. You draw like a land or something. You have plenty of mana. Just tap it, get another one out there, increase your army. It's a really good late game. It's no reason to have bad. Usually I would run 4, but I'm only running 3 in this deck, and I'll explain why in a second. I hope I'll remember to. Now here is a card that I don't see a lot of elf decks using, and I don't know why. I mean, it may not be modern legal. I don't know. I'm not keeping up with I don't know how standard works. I really don't know what's banned in modern or not. But Avatar of the Resolute, okay? It has reach, trample. This is a 2 cost. Keep that in mind. It's a 2 cost. 2 green. It gets a 1/1 for each other creature with a 1/1 counter on it. And it starts as a 3/2. That is insane for an elf deck. You can have anywhere from 6 creatures with 1/1s on it. So then he would become a 9/8 creature with trample and reach for 2 mana. You really can't beat this card. Not only run 1, because usually you want to keep it for late game, like a surprise tactic. And plus it's an avatar, so if they're shutting down like just like elves as an individual, he'll be fine. It's really a great card. I am surprised I haven't seen more of it. And then I am running 1 Nature's Way. You can swap this out. It's really not important to the deck at all. Basically, target creature control gains vigilance and trample to the end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So you can easily destroy a target creature, give a creature trample and vigilance, so you will have a blocker, and you know it's all good. I don't know if you can read the text. Yeah, it looks a little bit blurry on my end, and plus it got a little bit darker. So yeah, we have that done. So there's our 2 costs. Let me just pick these up real quick, clear some room. Now we get to basically the best, so like the most selection. The thickest part of the deck is the 3 costs. Because of how quickly we get mana out, we really don't need 2 and 1 costs, but 3 costs we can get out easily turn 2. And you should all be expecting this. Steel Leaf Champion, a 3 cost, a 5/4, cannot be blocked by creatures with 2 or less power. That is absolutely, there he goes, focuses. That's absolutely insane, Steel Leaf Champion. And that just completely blows my mind that how this was ever a card made. It's also, it's an Elf Knight. So I guess you can run this with Knight support, but yeah, that Elf ability is absolutely insane for this deck. It's a 3 cost. And we have a card that could get this out even quicker. We get 2 of these out for 4 mana, and I'll show you that, but it's kind of a little bit of luck. We're running 4 of these. I think this is the only card we're running 4 in this deck, and you can obviously why. You want to get a Steel Leaf out. That's also why we're running 6 different 1/1 for mana, because if we do that, get them out turn 2. Your opponent's going to only have like 1 or 2 costs out anyway. That's a direct 5 damage. That's absolutely insane for this. Ezuri Renegade Leader. Now, Ezuri Renegade Leader is a 3 cost. Pay 1 to regenerate another target elf, so you can't regenerate himself, but here's a win condition. Pay 5, elf creatures you control get +3/+3, and trample to the end of turn. It's a 2/2. It's really easy to get rid of, so I wouldn't put all your money on this. That's also why I'm running 2. But if you get 2 out there, they can regenerate themselves, and then it's really hard to get rid of them. It usually doesn't happen that way. Usually it gets, murdered or something, especially if you've been playing against people against you a while. They know, like, the consequences of having this card out there. They're probably going to get rid of it, but I'm running 2. You could probably easily run 3 in this deck. That's up to you. Like I said, those Glistering Elves are always a good switch out, or maybe, what would they? Dwyne's Elite, maybe you could get rid of 1 more. But yeah, I'm running 2 of those in the deck. Marwyn the Nurturer, I think, is how you pronounce that. It's a 3 cost. It's a 1/1. Whenever another elf enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on her. Tap it, get mana equal to its power. That is to say, that's why we have the Dwyne's Elite. You summon this guy on your turn 2 if you get lucky with the Llanowar. Next turn you have 4 mana, place down 2 of those. She becomes a 5/5 tap for 5 mana. That really gets your deck going. There's really not much you can do about that. That's an insane combo. And then when you have 5 mana, you can get out another. Let's just say you can get out Renegade. Like if you have Renegade out, you can even activate his ability. Then you can summon him. You can get a Steel Ape Champion out. That is just an insane ability, and that's why we're running 3 of her. She's just all good. Just great card. Dwyne's Elite really helps with that. Really helps it go. I love the Nurture. Elf Archdruid. This is why we're only running 3 clan colors. I thought about running 1 more and having 4 and not even using him because it's a higher cost for the 1/1. But his next ability, get a green for each elf you control. That is an insane ability you really can't pass up. But since I do run 3 clan colors, I'm only going to use 1 of them. It's a 2/2, so it's a little bit stronger than the clan color to begin with. So we're gonna run 1 of those. Now, if you haven't noticed yet, there's a weakness with this deck, and that's flying. It really can't really stop flying all that much. So that's why we're running Ether Sphere Harvester. We're gonna run 2 actually. It's a 3 cost, a crew of 1. So you can get a Llanowar out, tap it, get this out next turn in case he gets the early flyers out, and bam, you can block the flyers. It's a 3/5, really hard to take down. It has lifelink twice as long because it gets 2 energy, and we're gonna run 2 of them. And honestly, this does help slow down flying. It even stops like pretty heavy creatures because 5 toughness. That's not easy to go around and just easily beat. So we're running 2 of those in there to help slow down, some early flyers or even some late flyers. It's just pretty good at stopping flyers in general. And it has life gain, so it gets a burn deck. It can really help you out. Now, I thought about running 2, but I'm only going to run 1. I used to run 2, I kind of switched out. But basically, it's Inspiring Call. It's a 3 cost. Insane ability. It's an instant, by the way. Draw a card for each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it, which you can easily replenish your hand with elf decks. It's just insane. But the next ability is those creatures gain indestructible till the end of turn. I don't know if I'll focus on it, but yeah, indestructible till the end of turn. This card will. It's not focusing on it. Hold on. Kind of focusing. Yeah. It's insane ability. It's a 3 cost, instant. If your enemy is thinking about attacking and like trying to weaken you, because they have such a bigger army than you, activate that, kill their creatures, so draw cards, so the next turn you can play with almost whatever you want. Or you can do it on your turn, replenish it, get some indestructible out there, attack with those, and then you just summon a bunch of new blockers. There's no really bad way to use this card almost. Really run 1, I thought about running 2, but we're only doing 1. Lead the Stampede. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You reveal any number of those creatures among them. Put those cards in your hand, put the rest of the bottom of your library. Just to replenish your hand. It's a 3 cost as well. Or I don't know if it'll focus on the card ability or not. It's kind of a little bit blurry on my end. But yeah, basically just replenish your hand, really running 1 of those. Blarchwood Armor. These cards basically have saved me in so many games. It's a 3 cost. But this card allows you to get a 1/1 for each forest you control. We don't have a lot of forests, but by turn 5, that means you get to basically give a creature +5/+5 for 3. It's a minimum of 3, because you have to summon it, 5 earlier, but it's a minimum of 3 to get out there. It's insane. Put this on a Steel Leaf Champion turn 3, because after you just summon him on turn 2, that's insane. That's an 8/7 right off the gate. That's just a crazy card to use. And honestly, there's really not a lot of consistency for the 3 costs, except for the Steel Leaf, which is what you want to get out more than anything. So there you go. There are the 3 costs of this deck. I'm just gonna get out 4 and beyond because there's not that many high costs in this. There's a lot cheap. There's in the side deck. There's gonna be a few more, but let's just go with Dwayne Gilt Leaf Den. Basically has reach to help stop the flyers. Gives them all +1/+1. It's a 4 cost, by the way. And then whenever it attacks, you gain 1 life for each elf attacking that you control. It's a 3/4, so it's pretty tough to take down. I don't know if it'll focus on its ability or not. Yeah, there it goes. Absolutely insane card. You just gotta love a card like this. I thought I've been back in the forest. This is kind of a card you can trade in and out. I wasn't really sure about putting this card in there, but I decided that 4 cost can definitely work in this deck. It's a legendary elf warrior. I kind of like that status on it. So yeah, I decided to keep it. Next card we have is Collective Company. I only have 1 in my deck, but honestly, everybody should be running 3, maybe even 4 of these in their deck. I don't know if it'll focus. It's a 4 cost instant. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. Put 2 creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest of them around the library in any order. That's right, you can summon 2 Steel Leafs. It won't focus. 2 Steel Leafs with this card, which is absolutely insane. Collective Company, you won't focus on the ability. There he goes. Basically, you can get 2 Steel Leafs out. That's insane for 4 cost. On your opponent's turn. And then you untap your mana again and you can use it. That's just insane. And I don't think they have Summoning Sickness either with that ability. They shouldn't. My camera focusing. Yeah, it's my camera focusing problem. It like focuses on a playmat and I'll switch. So let's just shove this in front of its face, see if it just attaches it to itself. It's Vanquisher's Banner. It's a 5 cost. And I think you all know what this does. You should probably be running more of these if you can. You can probably focus better if it didn't have sleeves, but enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. You're going to choose elves. Those creatures get 1/1. Whenever you cast a creature like that, you get to draw a card. Refills your hand as you summon them, gives your creatures a bonus. There's really no downside to having this card in any kind of archetype of a deck. Anything where you use like a lot of the same type of card. Oh, sorry, I hit my camera there. This is when you want to use this card. So yes, a Vanquisher's Banner will be a good choice. The next choice we have is Regal Force. I've been debating this card a while. I switch it out a lot because it's not an elf card, but it's a 5/5. Wait, 5, 6, 7 cost. Its ability is you draw a card for each creature you control. You drop this late game, replenish your hand, and bam. I mean, there's nothing really your opponent can do about that. That's just a huge force to be reckoned with. It's a 5/5. And I'm going to quickly go over the sideboard real quick. We have quite a few Elf Warrior tokens. We have another Inspiring Call. I have another Force to get rid of one of the special forces. Aggressive Mammoth, a 6 cost, trample, 8/8. All other creatures get trample. Regal Force, if I'm going to replace a card, it's going to be with this card. It's an 8/8, 6 cost. Gives all creatures trample. Drew the Corral in case I need some extra defense early on. Treetop Village, I have another one. Nissa's Judgment, support 2. Choose up to 1 target creature your opponent controls. Each creature you control with 1/1 counter does damage to just power to it. Great way to get rid of boss. Ranger's Path, get 2 mana. Pulse of Marasa, I think that's how you pronounce it, gain 6 life, return a card. My game card is about to die, so I'll just put the rest of the cards in the description below. Fog, really great. Giant Growth. But yeah, just I don't really use the sideboard a lot like I should be doing. But that's my deck profile, guys. Sorry the camera card started dying at the end. I kind of needed to rush it a little bit. But yeah, I got the main deck out of the way. The sideboard, I really don't mess with it that much. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you really do enjoy. Maybe I'll do more deck profiles in the future. This actually took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. But thank you guys so much for watching. And hopefully I can edit this and post it without having too much problems. And I'll see you all later. Bye, guys.